What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be breaking down the UFC 300 main event between Alex Pereira and Jamahal Hill for the UFC's light heavyweight title. And this is an incredible fight, man. I know people were kind of shitting on the fight when it was first announced for UFC 300. And I think that was because our expectations were so high. I think people were, thinking we were going to get Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis. Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira was a thought at some point for some people. Khamzat Chimaev was maybe in the mix. So when people heard the announcement of Pereira versus Hill, they were kind of disappointed. But at the same time, I feel like this is an absolute banger of a main event, and I cannot wait for it. Alex Pereira coming into this fight after a huge win against Yuri Prochazka, champion in two different divisions, and then of course the main talking point for each guy is Jamahal Hill's injury to his Achilles. He's coming back pretty soon. I'm not a big fan of Achilles injuries. I feel like they're one of the worst ones in sports, so I hope he's okay. I hope he's not rushing his return, because I don't think he was really prepared to fight in March or April, excuse me. Wow, it is April. So I don't really think Jamahal Hill was ready to fight in April, so I hope he is fully healthy and we get the best version of Jamahal Hill in this fight. But in this video, I'll be giving you guys my official prediction for the fight. If you guys want to see my full card predictions, head to my channel. I posted it last night. It's around 36-ish minutes. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. I think this is, of course, mostly going to be a striking battle between the two. They're both primarily strikers. I feel like if somebody were to mix it in, I feel like it would be Jamahal Hill. Maybe if he's not having so much success on the feet, maybe he goes in for a takedown. I could see it maybe in the later rounds, the third, the fourth, the fifth. If he's not finding too much success, try to mix in the takedowns. Of course, I think his wrestling is better than Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira has pretty much showed no offensive wrestling besides that stint with Israel Adesanya in one of their fights. So I definitely do think Jamahal Hill has the wrestling advantage if he needs it. If he needs it, I don't think he's going to need it, because I'm picking Jamahal Hill by second round KO. I think he wins this fight, and I'm pretty confident that Jamahal Hill is going to go out there and knock out Alex Pereira on Saturday night in the main event of UFC 300, and I think it's going to be an incredible moment, and I think he's going to shock a lot of the world, because if you look at this fight from face value, Alex Pereira should win. From face value, Alex Pereira should win. If you don't dive in and do your research, it looks like Alex Pereira should win. It's going to be a striking battle. Who's the better striker? Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is the better striker going into this fight. However, I think Jamahal Hill's type of striking, his style of striking, is going to give a guy like Alex Pereira a lot of problems. Now, as I said, Alex Pereira is the better striker, but style for style, as we know, styles make fights, and I feel like that favors Jamahal Hill in this fight. Now, Jamahal Hill's striking is pretty unique. He loves the forward pressure. He likes backing his opponents up against the cage. He likes throwing the 1-2. He could fight out of both stances, which is a big thing for him in this fight, because we know Alex Pereira loves to blast the low calf kicks. So say one of his legs gets hurt, switch the stance, orthodox to southpaw, southpaw to orthodox. You know what I mean? His striking style is really unique. He has a sneaky head kick from southpaw. He loves to paw the jab a lot to find his range. He's a great fighter. And then, of course, Alex Pereira, on the other hand, double champion in Glory Kickboxing, one of the best strikers we've ever seen in mixed martial arts, and skill for skill, I do think he's a better striker than Jamahal Hill. As I said, he loves to throw the calf kicks, the most untelegraphed calf kick in the UFC, I think. Probably the best calf kick in the UFC. Of course, he has got that crazy left hook. He's got a nice jab on him. The left hook is so powerful. He's got so much power. Both guys have so much power. Pound for pound, I would favor Alex Pereira's power just a little bit more, but when we're dealing with guys with so much power, I don't think it really matters that much. Now, I want to dive into Alex Pereira's striking. You look at his fight with Israel Adesanya, or his fights with Israel Adesanya. What does Alex Pereira struggle with the most? You look back, you watch the fights, it's the 1-2. It's the 1-2 of Israel Adesanya. And I think that's going to give Alex Pereira a ton of problems in this fight. It was over and over again. Izzy was landing that 1-2. And Izzy isn't really the best boxer in the UFC. And I feel like Israel Adesanya is still the best striker in the UFC. Skill for skill, I'm picking Israel Adesanya over guys like Alexander Volkanovski, Alex Pereira, etc., etc. But at the same time, I feel like Israel Adesanya's striking style is pretty favorable for Alex Pereira. Izzy isn't the guy to back up Alex too much. He's okay fighting off the back foot. He's a good counter striker, not the best boxer, so I feel like that favors Alex a lot. Alex is able to move forward. He doesn't need to worry about elite boxing, and that's where I feel like Jamahal Hill could catch him in this fight. And even with the, not the super high level boxing, Izzy was able to land the 1-2 over and over and over again. So I feel like Jamahal Hill is really going to punish Alex Pereira in this fight for that. Jamahal Hill, I see him backing up Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira isn't the best, moving backwards off the back foot. I think he is 10 times better moving forward, blasting the calf kick, pushing the pace. I don't think he's as good on the back foot, and that's where I feel like Jamahal Hill is going to punish him. I see Jamahal Hill, pawing with the jab, finding his range, and then throwing the 1-2, backing up Alex Pereira, throwing the 1-2, switching stances, being pretty unpredictable, having good boxing fundamentals, and also watch out for the sneaky head kick out of southpaw from Jamahal Hill. I could see him pawing, maybe throwing a 2, and then following it up with a head kick, and I could see that catching Alex Pereira if Jamahal Hill gets in range. Ultimately, I see Jamahal Hill catching him with the 1-2, man. Alex Pereira is susceptible to the 1-2, and Jamahal Hill has a really nice 1-2. I see Jamahal Hill backing up Alex Pereira, pawing, finding his range, blasting the 1-2, and I see him catching him pretty early in this fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jamahal Hill maybe catches Alex Pereira in the first round. Now, I'm not predicting that. I'm going with Jamahal Hill by second round knockout. But I wouldn't be too surprised if Jamahal Hill, starts this fight on the front foot with a lot of energy, pushing the pace, and kind of catching Alex Pereira off guard. And I wouldn't be all too surprised if he gets a knockout in the first round. But I'm not going to predict that. Now, I think it's, we got to talk about Alex Pereira, of course, because he's a champion. I'm kind of, discrediting his game. For me, Alex Pereira needs to not get backed up against the cage. That's where he's going to struggle the most in this fight. I want to see Alex Pereira push the pace, keep wrecking those calves, blast the calf kick, and that's where I find him having the most success. Staying at range. I think they have like the same reach. I should really pull that up for you guys. But I'm pretty sure they have the same range if I'm not mistaken. But Alex Pereira, fight in the center of the cage, blast the low calf kick, stay at range, don't get caught with the 1-2, and, make it a kickboxing fight more than it is a boxing fight, if that makes sense. Limit the amount of boxing that Jamahal Hill can use. Now, another place where I could see Alex Pereira catching Jamahal Hill. Sometimes, out of orthodox, if I'm not mistaken, Jamahal Hill enters the pocket and backs up his opponent with his right hand down. Now, as we know, Alex Pereira has one of the best left hooks in the UFC. So if Jamahal Hill is plotting forward, and enters the pocket out of orthodox and has that right hand down, I could see Alex Pereira catching him with the counter left hook, similarly to what he did against Yuri Prochazka. I perfectly predicted that fight, by the way. I thought Alex Pereira was going to win early, and he absolutely did. But at the same time, I feel like Jamahal Hill is going to respect the striking so much of Alex Pereira. He's going to improve in that aspect. You saw him leave his right hand down against Thiago Santos, and I feel like that's him just not really respecting the striking of Thiago Santos. Now, I don't think that's a good idea, but I think that's kind of what happened at that point in time. I see Jamahal Hill improving his defensive striking a lot. I don't think he's going to make those silly mistakes. And sorry if I sound a little stuffy. I am right now. So I see Jamahal Hill improving defensively. I don't see him getting caught flush by that left hook. And if he does, it's not going to be great, but I feel like his chin is really good. I think both guys' chins are pretty good. I think now, since Alex isn't cutting down to 185 pounds, his chin will be better. But I see the 1-2 of Jamahal Hill causing real problems for Alex Pereira. So for my official prediction, give me Jamahal Hill by round 2 KO. I see him pushing the pace early, getting Alex Pereira backed up against the cage, not making him comfortable, not letting him really move anywhere. I see him pawing, finding his range with the jab, and then throwing the left, or the 1-2, when Alex Pereira has his back up against the cage. And I'm pretty confident of it. I feel like Jamahal Hill's striking style is going to give Alex Pereira a lot of problems, as I said. Of course, Alex Pereira is one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the UFC, but his striking offense is a lot better than his striking defense, in my opinion. And that's where Jamahal Hill is going to expose him. And I am pretty confident Jamahal Hill is going to get it done at UFC 300. And it's going to be a pretty crazy moment because he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm excited as hell for this event. The best card in UFC history. Give me Jamahal Hill by round 2 KO. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Click that subscribe button. Go follow my TikTok. It's the same name as on here. I'm almost at 18,000 followers on there. I appreciate you guys for watching. Let's go.